हरे कृष्ण। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामीति नामे नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणी. So we will uh, we'll just see the first chapter of fourth canto, the genealogical table of daughters of Manu. So we have seen till shloka 15. So we were discussing yesterday how it is how this education in Vedic culture, how it is given. So we are given the whole perspective. We are given the whole picture. First only we are told what is the purpose of all these things. Then once you know the purpose of the education, then it becomes easy for us to uh, work on it. That is Vedic culture. So as soon as the child starts education at the age of 7, he already know the purpose of education is we have to go back home, back to Godhead. At the age of 7, he's starting his education, bhakti. He's told Anyabhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karma Dhanamritam. After 20 years, when he's passing out of his Gurukul, the same shloka is explained, Anyabhilashita Shunyam. But now, the what he understood about the shloka of Anyabhilashita is very deeper for him compared to what he was knowing when he joined Gurukul. So the same, what happened is, this just did not remain as an information. It became a realized knowledge now for him. So this is actually what is education in Vedic times. So here also we are trying to see how Bhagavatam is trying to help us give the purpose very clearly from the beginning. And when we know the purpose and we know why it is explained, then we'll know why these things are explained. Now, all this past time, then we will see in terms of that purpose. So that is what Vyasdev did in the beginning of this Bhagavatam. He explained, Savai Pumsam Parodharmo Eto Bhakti Radokshije Ahaituki Apratita Yayatma Suprasidati. So we are already given the purpose. Okay, the highest dharma is to do bhakti, ahaituki apratyata bhakti. Apratyata means you are not affected by the surroundings that are in any circumstances, any situation, very, very difficult situation also, we continue doing bhakti. Ahaituki, without expecting anything, apratyata. No break. That is most important. And then Yayatma Suprasidati. Then our heart is completely satisfied, that is nourished. So now, once we know the formula, then whole Bhagavatam we have to see like that only. So when all this uh, the genealogy is explained, where you are hearing the daughters of Manu, what they are doing, we have to see in that point of view only how it is connected to me, how it is going to nourish and satisfy my heart. Because in all these stories, the Supreme Lord is appearing. So for Devoti, it is Kapila is appearing. For Akuti, Yajna is appearing. So now Prasuti, now there are everybody, the Supreme Lord is appearing in for all the daughters of Swayambhu, either both for two of them as son and for another as a grandson. And this is actually what is the purpose of discussing all these things, because it's all connected to the Supreme Lord. Like say we are interested in Kurukshetra battle because Krishna is present there. Prabhupada says we are not interested in battle of Panipat, but we are interested in Kurukshetra because Krishna is involved. So anything connected to Krishna. So the purpose is very clear. So here, and another important thing what happened here in this is when the Anasuya, the wife of Atri, gave birth to three famous sons, Soma, Dattatreya, and Durvasa, who were partial representations of Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, and Lord Brahma. Soma was partial representation of Lord Brahma, Dattatreya was partial representation of Lord Vishnu, and Durvasa was a partial representation of Lord Shiva. And Prabhupada says is a very important purport. Actually, we should know that here some of the pictures of Dattatreya are three heads. And that is also in some of the other kalpas it may happen. So according to this pastime, it is only one. But in some places, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, all three are considered as Dattatreya. So that is also maybe there in some Puranas. So that's why they keep Dattatreya with the heads. Now, Prabhupada said in this verse, we find the words Atma, Ishvara, Brahma, Sambhavan. Atma means the super soul or Vishnu. Isha means Lord Shiva. And Brahma means the four-headed Lord Brahma. The three sons born of Anasuya, Dattatreya and Durvasa and Soma were born as partial representation of three demigods. Atma is not in category of demigods or living entities because he is Vishnu. Therefore, he is described as Vibhinnamsha Bhutanam, the super soul. Lord Vishnu is the three seed giving father of all living entities, including Brahma and Shiva. Another meaning of the word Atma may be accepted in this way: the principle who is the super soul in every Atma, or one may say the soul of everyone, because becomes manifested as Dattatreya, because the word Amsha, part and parcel is used here. And he is a part of the Supreme Lord, his expansion. And Bhagavad Gita, the individual souls are also described as part of the Supreme Personality of God or Super Soul. So why not accept that Dattatreya was one of those parts? Lord Shiva and Brahma are also described here as parts. So why not accept all of them as ordinary individual souls? The answer is that the manifestation of Vishnu and those of the ordinary living entities are certainly like part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and no one is equal to him. But among the part and parcels, there are different categories. In the Varaha Purana, it is nicely explained that one of the parts of Swamsha and some are Vibhinnamshas. Vibhinnamshas parts are Jivas and Swamshas are Vishnu categories. So there is Amshas, but Swamshas and Vibhinnamshas. So two categories. So Jiva category, the Vibhinnamsha part and parcels are also gradations. That is explained in Vishnu Puran, where it is clearly stated the individual part and parcels of Supreme Lord are subjected to being covered by external energy called illusion or Maya. Such individual part and parcels who can travel to any part of Lord's creation are called Sarvagataha and are suffering the pangs of material existence. They are proportionately freed from the covering of ignorance under material existence according to different level of work under different influence of modes of materiality. So, according to guna and karma, they are divided. So, for example, suffering of jiva situated in mode of goodness are less than those of jiva situated in mode of ignorance. And now, Prabhupada is writing, pure Krishna conscious, however, is the bright birthright of all living entities because every living entity is part and parcel of Supreme Lord. Now, the consciousness of Lord is also part and parcel. And according to the proportion to which that consciousness is cleared of material debt, the living entity are differently situated. In Vedanta Sutra, the living entity of different gradations are compared to candles or lamps with different candle power. For example, some bulbs have the power of 1000 candles. Some has the power of 500 candles. Some has the power of 100 candles. Some 50. But all electric bulbs have light. Light is present in every bulb, but the gradation of light are different. Similarly, the gradation of Brahma, uh, the Vishnu, Swamsha expansions of the Supreme Lord in various Vishnus are like lamps. Lord Shiva also like a lamp, and the supreme candle power of 100% light is Krishna. So, of all the forms, Krishna is the maximum. The Vishnu Tattva has 94%, Shiva Tattva has 84%, Brahma has 78%. That means we also have on our own some light. That's why we are Jivas. The living entity are also like Brahma, but in the conditioned state, their power is still more dim. They are generations of Brahma, sorry, gradations of Brahman, and no one can deny this fact. Therefore, the word Atmesha Brahma Sambhavat indicates that Dattatreya was directly part and parcel of Vishnu, whereas Durvasa and Soma were part and parcel of Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. So, very simple thing Prabhupada is trying to explain that there are gradations in Brahman, there are gradations in living entities. Living entities gradation is based on what? Guna and karma. Somebody is situated in lower modes and his activities are very low. So that means it's basically consciousness. If you are low conscious, then you are lower. And when it comes to Vishnu Tattva, all have superpower, but Krishna has the maximum. So that form is Krishna, like that. And next is says, then Vidura is asking question. Vidura Vacha Atrer Sura Shrestha Utpatti Anta Hetavaha Kinchit Chikirshavo Jata Etad Akhyaha Me Guru. Hearing this, Vidura inquired from Maitreya, my dear master, how is that the three deities Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, who are the creator, maintainer, destroyer of the whole creation, became the offsprings of wife of Atri? The inquisitiveness of Vidura was quite fitting, for he understood that when the super soul, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, all appear through a person of through the person of Anasuya, the wife of Atri Muni, there must have been some great purpose. Otherwise, why should they have appeared in such a way? So Anasuya must be really very powerful. So here, next shloka Prabhupada tells the story. Maitreya Vacha Brahmana Chodita Srishtva Atri Brahma Vidhanvaraha Saha Patnyayayo Raksham Kulladrim Tapasi Sthitaha. Maitreya said, Lord Brahma ordered Atri to create generations after marrying Anasuya. Atri Muni and his wife went to perform severe ashtities in the valley of mountains known as Raksha. So when they are told to beget children, they are not going for honeymoon. They are going for performing austerities. So that is the difference. That means they actually the problem in the that time age of when the Satyuga problems are people are attached to goodness. In Kali Yuga, we are happily attached to mode of passion and ignorance. In both cases, self-realization is difficult. In Satyuga, it is difficult because they are attached to goodness. They're so happy there. Then uh, why they want to go back and back to God? It's already happy here. But in Kali Yuga, that's why demigods want to take birth in Kali Yuga on the earth. Because here, the pleasure and pain are sufficient that we cannot enjoy much also, and not extreme suffering is also there, like hell is suffering. So it's very conducive to practice bhakti, to get that realizations. If you correctly take advantage. So that's why. So too much pleasure is also not conducive for bhakti. And that's actually the problem in previous ages. Now we may think, array, very simple, na? If Atri and Anasuya, they are going for begetting children, and what did they do? They performed tapasya. Now, instead of doing tapasya for begetting children, if they do tapasya to and bhakti, and can go back home back to Godhead, na? Why they are doing tapasya to get a child? You can do tapasya to go back home back to Godhead, right? But they cannot do it because they're happy. They don't want to go back to God. They said, oh, Supreme Lord is there. Let us have him as the child. So that is a very major difference. Uh, the difference is that there is an enjoyment in Sattuguna, which hold them from performing that pure devotion bhakti and says, I don't want it. No exception, like four Kumaras, we said nothing to do with all this family affairs. We are happy in Brahman. Later on, they became devotees, but otherwise, that is Brahman happiness is much more higher than what these people are doing. And even Kardamuni got darshan of Supreme Lord and he asked, I want to marry. I say, what is this? If Supreme Lord comes, we could immediately tell, "Na, I want to go back, come back to it. I want to be with you, Lord." But it don't happen that. Because of two reasons. One is they are all completely situated in goodness. That is their swabhava. They are attached to, they are conditioned with goodness. And second is that association. Of course, some personalities like Narada are there who are preaching, but still it is not so easy to preach such big people. Like if we have to make Adani or Ambani into Hare Krishna devotees. They are very pious people. They do so much charity, they perform, they invite all sadhus, they do so much. And they appreciate ISKCON they are doing. But how much possibility is there we can make them devotee? Very less possibility. Why? They are very big. Like say Prime Minister of India is there, Modi. Can we make him a devotee? He respects sadhus. He is very good. He is a very dharmic person, but he cannot. So to preach big people is difficult because they are already conditioned to goodness. Of course, these people are in passion. Who I mentioned the names now, but as here in the beginning of creation, these people are in too much goodness. So even it is tough for like people like Narada also to preach. Arey, why all this begetting children and all? Why to do tapas? Do tapasya for bhakti and come back to God. And then what happens is tasmin prasuna stabaka pralaso pralasasoka kanane व्राभि सर्वभिरुत्कष्टे निर्विद्याया समन्ततः. In that mountain valley flowed a river named Nirvindhya. On the bank of river are many Ashoka trees and other plants full of palasa flowers, and there is always the sweet sound of water flowing from the waterfalls. The husband and wife reached that beautiful place. So very, very nice mode of goodness place to be happily attached. And प्राणायामेन संयम्य मनोवसस्तं मुनिः आस्तितत् एकपादेन निर्द्वन्द्वो नीलभोजनः. There the great sage concentrated his mind by the yogic breathing exercise and thereby controlling all attachment. He remained standing on one leg only, eating nothing but air, and stood there on one leg for 100 years. Now we may say, instead of standing on one leg for 100 years, we can take Japamala and chant every day 64 rounds. And no need of 100 years also. Very short time you can go back, come back to God. But unfortunately, this does not happen. So Saranam Tam, yes, Gail Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I'm not a political person at all, so don't take this the wrong way, but I'm just curious, why wouldn't somebody like PM Modi, who does seem to be more like mode of goodness, why would he be mode of passion and
Oh,
not uh-huh.
actually, you cannot rule in mode of goodness. Brahmanas don't rule many of the times. They give Kshatriyas a job. Kshatriyas are dharmic people. They only can rule. Brahmanas don't rule. Brahmanas in goodness, no, they don't like. That's why they only give advice and guidance. They are more of a advisory team. Any king, sometimes in exceptional cases, Brahmanas rule. Otherwise, they don't rule because to rule you need passion.
Yeah, what is it about ruling that requires the mode of passion?
You have to discriminate. You have to diplomatically think. You
Wait,
have
wait, 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 Prabhu. So, I mean, even this first quality of discrimination, I mean, isn't that a a quality of proper discrimination? Isn't that a property of goodness?
yeah. But this is not that discrimination. I'm talking discrimination in friends, enemies, and
Oh,
or Brahmana. Na, generally, he does not much think about friend enemy. He's just interested in knowledge, giving knowledge. He does not much. So discrimination on truth, what is truth and what is false, that type of discrimination is for Brahmana. But a Kshatriya, the discrimination is different. His discrimination in terms of enemy, friend, and he has to think in a diplomatic way. He is not simple and straight. They speak something, but they mean something. Brahmana is not like that. Brahmana is very straightforward. He will not even hide secrets in front of enemy also. He is a Brahmana. But Kshatriya is not like that. He has to keep secrecy and all these things. He has to maintain this. Brahmana is very straightforward. Whatever he says, he means it. But Kshatriya is not like that. Politicians are, they say something, they mean something, they do something else. So
mm-hmm,
that is a politician. So
mm-hmm.
you cannot, you need these skills and a little bit of passion to manage things. Otherwise, it's very difficult also. You cannot. They may be very actually the kings no, they used to very respectful to brahmanas. When the brahmana come, they used to make them sit on their own ass and wash their feet and do everything for brahmanas, take advice from brahmanas, and they used to rule because that needs all these things. Yeah, and Brahmana is very forgiving. Kshatriya is not forgiving. He cannot forgive very fast. Kshatriya has that vengeance attitude also. And this is why Dhruva, when he was very angry, when his father insulted, he was going to forest. Narada Muni comes there, you are a small child. Why are you so upset? He said, I am a Kshatriya. Don't give advice of a Brahmana to me forgiving. I cannot forgive. I am a Kshatriya. So then Narada said, okay, then you take this mantra chant and achieve your goal. So he wanted to give the advisor as a Brahman, like, no, forgive and all these things. Narada, so Dhruva very clearly says, it is not possible for me. I am a Kshatriya. You're understanding?
Yeah, yeah. And you also said something about, I missed it. You said something about washing their feet or something. What was that?
No, they were very dharmic. Like kings, na, they used to wash the feet of Brahmanas,
Oh, oh,
give them
yeah,
so much
yeah.
respect.
Oh,
They
yeah,
are
yeah.
having this dharmic attitude. So now Modi also
Mm-hmm.
is very respectful to Brahmanas, is all these things. But he's a Kshatriya. He was actually Vaishya and Kshatriya mix. Not exactly
Mm-hmm.
Kshatriya also. Kshatriya means there is some other quality, but mix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I was just curious because, he comes across as so, kind of peaceful and pious and like this. So I wasn't
Like
associating.
Yudhishthir Maharaj is also Kshatriya, but he has some Brahmanical qualities also. Even he is also peaceful and all. But he's still a Kshatriya. Yudhishthir Dharmaraj. He's also Kshatriya, but he also has this quality. So there will be some mixture of goodness in them, but that is not uh, because he want to progress. See, if you want to make your economy grow, then you need to have passion. If you are mode of goodness, now you cannot make your economy grow. You are just happy with whatever is there in the kingdom. You say everybody be happy, every day wake up and chant Hare Krishna. No, he is a Kshatriya. He want to progress economically. And he has Vaishya qualities also, but he is pious.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah. Prabhu, um, I don't want to, interrupt the flow of the class. So I was wondering if at the very end of the class, like maybe like 2 minutes before, if I can ask you a couple of questions from yesterday's class.
Yeah. Maybe you
Okay.
can ask. I'll take Sitakan through some questions, then you can ask because I wanted to complete the yesterday's sessions also.
Oh, okay. So you're saying I should ask now?
I will, if Prabhuji's question is related to our discussion, after his question, then you are.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Sitakan.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Tandas Pranam. Prabhuji, that ISKCON is an spiritual organization, and so generally to maintain any organization, some diplomacy is required, some administrative skills are required. So sometimes we see that even the devotees, to run the temple, they are diplomatic and all. So so how do we take this role? Because some certain things we cannot digest. Okay, in the organization also happening like this spiritual organization. ISKCON is Srila Prabhupada's body, and here they're doing like this, and at the administrative level, certain decisions they take, and it very clear. It's very clear that it's a very diplomatic and all. So how do we take this role? Because we are in the organization and we're serving Srila Prabhupada's mission. So
Actually,
we also should not get disturbed. And how is it this process?
yeah, see, what we have to understand is to run any institution, not everybody will be satisfied if you are in an institute. Bhakti is actually very personal. We have to do bhakti on a personal level. Institute is an a support. So now you are to attend morning Bhagavatam class. We can tell you have to attend Bhagavatam class. You have to chant 16 notes. Then you are considered eligible for initiation. You are part of our organization. No, that is at institutional, but at your personal level, I may be sitting in class, but I cannot put my heart. I may not be able to do chanting very attentively, but I'm just doing something. So it is up to me. I want to progress in bhakti. I should take advantage of the situation that is available for me. So institute is not completely responsible for our bhakti. Institute is only facility for our bhakti. Now you have so many online classes are going on. Now you have to take advantage of that facilities and make progress. We have to stand on our own leg and then make progress. And some decisions will be made in an institute because it's an institute. We need to run it. So there will be some things which will be important, and according to the capacity of the person who is managing, he will be making the decisions. And according to his discrimination, his understanding, his capacity, he will make a decision. It may not be in favor to what my way of thinking and my opinions, but it is okay because he has to run the show. Then he is given that freedom to make a decisions. And another thing is the people who have the tendency to manage, say they are in a managerial level, they have the tendency and ability to manage. So they take this, they are given this service. Okay, you have this ability, you take it. And they need to engage their abilities in Krishna's service. So I am given this ability to manage. I can nicely do diplomacy and I can nicely do. Okay, take that service and do the service. Actually, see, everybody is given some nature. We are already having certain nature. What is more important is how best I am using my abilities in Krishna service. That's the only success we all have. We may be a Shudra, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Brahmana, mix of everything what we are now. But all whatever talent we have, just engage in Krishna service. Now some people have the managerial skills. He can manage, so let him engage. We may not like it, but that does not matter. Okay, if you don't like it, you we associate with somebody whom, like we have online association here. Now here no management. Of course there is some management. Your timing is the timing will be this time only. We manage something timing and some other, the way Proji takes question answers and all. So he has some management, but it's okay. If you like it, you continue. Otherwise, there are some other sessions which are going on at the same time parallelly. You can attend any of them. So basically, bhakti is our own responsibility. Institution is just a support, and whichever place you are getting that support, either online or your temple or nearby temple or some other system, whichever is helping you when you're supporting you for your bhakti, you take advantage of it. That's all.
Probably just to conclude that, main we have to protect our bhakti, we have to concern about our bhakti. Certain things happen in the organization. I am not responsible because I am not in that post. So authorities, whoever authority, they are responsible, and so their superior authorities will take care. So my
Yeah.
duty is to just focus in whatever my sevas and my sadhana and my bhakti. Is it correct? Proper
Yes,
understanding?
yes, yes. We just take advantage. You are given an institute, you take advantage to progress on bhakti. That much only we can do.
Fine,
Yes.
fine, Prabhu, fine. Thank you. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Harish.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you. Yeah, just some miscellaneous things that occurred to me yesterday's class.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were saying that when it came to Swayambhav Manu, right? How you say Swayambhav?
yeah, Swayam Bhuva Manu.
Swayambhuva Manu. Um, yeah, I was just curious why, because we mentioned that he didn't ask Devahuti for her son, even though he knew that she was going to have the Supreme Personality of Godhead for her son. He only asked for, I think it was Yagya or something.
Yeah, yeah.
So do we even know why that decision was made? Why he chose for one and not the other to
No,
claim as?
it is not mentioned, so we don't know. We can speculate something to get some fun, but we don't know exactly the reason.
To get some fun.
You can do
Okay.
any speculations.
Yeah. And then another thing was you were also mentioning that, back in Vedic times, right? The students, which were, I think they were all brahmacharis at that time, in the beginning, in the youthful time, right? Everybody's brahmachari, and
Yeah,
everybody knows why they're studying the various subject matters.
yeah,
It's for the purpose of going back to Godhead.
yeah.
So I couldn't figure out, you know, how learning subjects like mathematics, or geography, or, so many of these standard courses that we have, how those are related to going back.
Yeah, actually, Vedic subjects, no, they are 14 subjects only that should be learned. That's all.
Yeah,
And
what?
there are 14 subjects that should be learned in Vedas. No? Vedic
Uh-huh.
education is only 14 subjects.
Uh-huh.
And geography is not separately any subject. It is part of astrology and astronomy, where you need to know what is the position of grahas and how to calculate the good time, bad time, and perform some yajnas, which is a favorable time to perform, and how should be the position of house and all these vastu and other things. And then astrology, position of grahas, so that it will help you to know your nature and what obstacles you are going to get. And ultimately, they know the purpose is to purify the heart and attain liberation or go back to God, like that. So all this, like, now we have fifth canto, the geography is there. Now what is the planetary system, where what? So that will help a person to understand, okay, this is why I'm here, because of my state of consciousness. So I elevate my consciousness, I will be elevated. And what position, who are there at what level. So all these things is basically to help a person. You will not have like the geography of the modern times, where minerals are there, where where which is what is there. No, this type of geography, their geography is little different, in the sense that basically telling the consciousness of people, how they are based on your consciousness, you are positioned in the particular place of this world. So the point is that there is education of geography, there is education of mathematics. Mathematics is basically for calculating. In astrology you need calculation, in vastu you need calculations, in doing any yajnas and all you need. So that much calculations that is needed is given in there, not more than that. And they don't want to learn also. They are, whatever is needed for them, helpful to live a peaceful life, then that's enough.
Mm.
And then there is
Okay.
no much research in like developing a very sophisticated technology and all these things. People are not interested in technology that time. They are just interested in understanding the basic. That's why every like many millions of years also you don't find big technologies. Even though they have, they don't use their intelligence in going in that direction. They are using their intelligence in self-realization only.
Mm. Okay. Um. Yeah. Okay, Prabhu. So back then the curriculum, if you will, right, for studies sounds like it was very different from the curriculum of most schools today,
Yeah, of course.
because the modern curriculum, I think it's kind of difficult to make connections to how it can be utilized in self-realization.
Yeah, that is true.
Mm.
Because that time they are very clear with purpose, so the curriculum is also very made accordingly. They don't mess up, and same thing everybody has to learn, so not a problem. So there is no much competition. The environment in the Gurukul is also made in such a way that it is very safe and environment. So it's not very like present modern education is like very competitive and envious, and all these things are there, but it is not when it comes to the Vedic education. It's quite different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, if I add more points, then you'll get more questions.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're right. Because even with this competitive thing, it did spark a question. Because even today we're all having, in the basic education, elementary, high school. So everybody has to learn the same thing, you know, but I don't know. I'm not sure how there's competition to get into, higher levels of education, I guess. But anyway, it's okay. Side
Oh,
point.
if you don't know what is the competition in India, you
Oh,
can.
to get into IIT, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, the competition is like you cannot even imagine us how much
Yeah,
tough it is. Poor fellow
yeah,
the entrance he has to write 10 years. After 10 years, he will start preparing from now only. That is
my
actually
God.
the scenario. It's quite very,
Intense, huh?
yeah,
Very
very
intense. Wow, wow. Okay, but just one last thing is, we were saying yesterday also that, to for those who want to translate the Vedas, right? You know, the Vedas is not just like for information, it's like, I guess, knowledge for the purpose of self-realization. So you have to perform sacrifices, to get that knowledge or something like that. So I was thinking, you know, our chanting of the Maha Mantra is the best sacrifice. So if or sadhakas, right, devotional sadhakas or bhakti yogis, if they are chanting Hare Krishna and they want to translate the Vedas, would the Vedas not reveal themselves to such people?
whatever Krishna wants, that much only, because now they are not available. Only 4% of Vedas are available out of 100%.
Right.
When the invaders came, they burnt most of the libraries at Nalanda and many of the books. And it took 6 months for them to burn them also. They used for cooking fuel all the Vedic literature. And
Wait,
it
wait, 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 wait. You say who burned the Vedas?
Invaders who came to India.
Oh, invaders.
They burned the Vedas. They said it is not, they didn't like them. They had so
Uh-huh.
many. What happened is the emperor who came to, the invader who came to India, he attacked. So after he conquered, he was suffering from some disease. And then he called the local Brahmana, came immediately cured. And then he became so envious. He said, how come these people had so much knowledge? He said, finish up all the literature which they are having. So the Brahmanas came and they pleaded, no, no, don't do this. He killed all the Brahmanas who came for pleading and he burnt all the libraries. It took almost 6 months for him to, they used as a fuel for their cooking. And it didn't happen by chance. Actually, it is Krishna's arrangement. Whatever is needed, that much is left. Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, whatever important literature which is needed for spiritual advancement, all that literatures are available. So that's not a problem. So what is burnt is only which are not needed for Kali Yuga. No? So
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if I'm quoting him properly, but Bhaktivedanta Swami was saying that even those who are translating the Vedas today, and I think he was referring to devotees actually. He was like, they won't even be able to, even they won't be able to, you know, um, I mean, what will they get from that translation? Basically, he was saying. And I'm thinking, well, if these are people who are chanting Hare Krishna, why wouldn't that, what would be the problem?
actually, first you need to know very perfect Sanskrit, first thing. It takes 12 years to learn only. And
Mm-hmm.
then we have to learn under a guru who knows what exactly that Veda is telling, the purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, now say if I translate, say I got the fourth canto, first chapter of Bhagavatam, because Vedas are not available, you get here and there bits and pieces. Now a whole Bhagavatam, I just got fourth canto, first chapter. Now I say this is Bhagavatam. And if I translate this chapter, how much you will understand Bhagavatam?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Exactly, I translated first chapter of fourth canto. We don't have any chapters of whole Bhagavatam. We don't have. I only got this fourth canto first chapter. I know Sanskrit very nicely and I translated. Will you be
Mm-hmm.
able to understand Bhagavatam?
No.
That's the point. Because it is not available everything. If you don't have everything, you just have bits and pieces here, there. You take something from there and you translate also, how much you will understand?
Mm-hmm.
That's the
Yeah.
point.
Okay. Well, thank you so very much
Okay.
for going out of order to take these questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll end here. Tantra
Oh,
Srimad